Inspiration, inspiration. 105, 105. Family radio, something for everybody. 105, yeah. Inspiration FM. Inspiration 100.5.
All right, good morning. All right, good morning, wherever you're listening to us on Inspiration 100.5 FM, your number one family radio. I am Jadisola Ajibala. I'm back after a few days away. Yes, work here, work there. One must just make things work out. So I'm back here for you, all on pay-per-view on Inspiration 100.5 FM. All right, this morning on the program, I have a fantastic edition of the program this morning. But I'm coming to tell you what we're doing this morning. I'm going to first and foremost take the headlines. But let me let you know that I have strong, big, fat, tall officials of the FROC, Federal Road Safety Corps, RS.3, RS 11.3, Oyo State Command, here with me this morning. And last week's Thursday, we had it very rough. We had a lot of conversation around driver's license, how you can get your license. And some callers even said, look, they collect extra money. And I was even saying, look, why can't we have a dedicated account that we can pay into rather than giving money to certain people? And so they're here this morning, and we're going to be doing this from time to time to get you all updated on activities of the FRSA, Federal Road Safety Corps, RS 11.3, or your state sector command. So I have this morning here Chief Route Commander, Officer Inyama Chijoke Kenneth, and of course he's the FRSC or your sector public education officer. Officer Inyama, morning, sir.
Good morning, ma. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, good to have you in the studio. Last week was on the phone, and it was really, really tough.
Yes, that's why I decided today that we must be in the studio to enlighten the public
exactly
on the driver's license.
Yes, and because April is around
and
the corner.
I can't wait.
Yes, Superintendent Route Commander Onofuye Oluyemi Ifeolu is the Unit Head Driver's License Center, Secretariat Agodi. Good morning, sir, and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Yes, so you can see the two big, fat, tall large, high people that I have in the studio here this morning. So you can watch us live on Facebook. But before we do that, going to the issue of FRC, let's take the headlines. All right, on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, I have arrest interim government plotters. APC PDP tells DSS. That story is there. Saboteur planning court order protests to stop Tinubu's inauguration. That's according to an agency. That's a writer to that story. One more writer there. Interim government alien to our constitution. Campaigners pseudo Democrats, says APC PDP. All right, moving to other story there. 26 children, 125 adults. Libyan returnees land in Lagos. I don't know where they're getting these people from. I don't know how many Nigerians are in Libya actually, because the high numbers of people coming in is questionable. All right, moving to all the stories there. Ramadan election riggers, Yahoo boys fasting in vain, says cleric. Okay, that's a big one there. We're going to talk about that. I think I need to get an Islamic cleric to trash this issue for me because I don't know if a cleric says that they're fasting in vain. I don't want to get over this, but let me get over it so we can move on. All right, burglar jail 7 years for robbing Patience Jonathan. That story is also on the front page of the Punch newspaper. All right, Whitney, Chrisland School workers trial begins today. All right, that story is also there. Presidency, rare privilege, I won't squander. That's according to Tinubu. All right, federal government plans sanctions as 633 die in all operations. All right, our story is also there. And now, still on the front page of the Punch newspaper, I will tackle police corruption, PSC chairman says. All right, I also have this there. Let me use the opportunity to wish the Punch newspaper happy 50th as they celebrate 50th. All right, that's a good one. Congratulations to Punch newspaper management and staff. All right, moving on to other stories this morning on the front page of Daily Trust. On the front page of Daily Trust, I have the story. Governor-elect pledge better deal, receive certificate of return. That's there. Says my family won't have role in governance. That's according to Abba Gida. All right, it's a new dawn in Benue. Reverend Father Alea. I will remain fair, transparent. That's according to Nasarawa Governor. Our expectations. That's according to residents. All right, I will be governor for all. That's according to the Rivers. That's according to Rivers Fabura. And let's do it together. Ben. The Nigerian Tribune. Interim government plots real. DSS reveals. Says key players behind plot identified. All right, that story's on page 2. Moving to other stories there. On page 28, Lagos driver protest hike in Agberu fears. Commuters stranded. I'm still going to come back to that, of course, when I'm also having conversation with FRC. Because basically, I want us to look at it. When you go to the market and buy pepper, people at the market will say you have to add commission. I remember yesterday when I was buying fish, the fish seller said, Madam, please add commission on it. So Agberu, to when they are collecting their money, I'm sure they want to collect commission and money to do withdrawal. So we'll get there. All right, FEC approves 24.2 billion naira free internet facility for 20 airports, schools, and markets. All right, other story there. U.S. recovers $53 million from illegal contracts involving Desiani, Aluko, Omokore. That story is there. Senate sets to recover $6 trillion unpaid ground rent from property owners. BVN fraud, 513 names linked to 1,370 accounts. Investigation begins. That's according to Amnesty Office. Kaduna Topa at 17. I beg your pardon. It looks like A, but no, it's S. Okay, so Kaduna tops as 17 outgoing governors grow state IGR in 7 years. That's according to NBS. All right, to all the stories there. I won't fail Nigerians. My manifesto, not mere what, says Tinubu at 71. Kano APC governorship candidate accept defeat. Congratulates governor-elect. All right, gunshot injury. Court orders Amotekun on the government to pay motorcyclists 30 million naira. Where would they get that? Okay, but let's wait. It's about court order. All right, the Nation newspaper, DSS warns interim government plotters to their consequences. All right, FEC, okay, it's 24.2 billion naira for free internet in airports. Okay, incoming governors unfold agenda for states. Musician Portable faces police probe. Elections credible, fairly conducted, says Adeyeye. All right, all the stories on the This Day newspaper will be attempt to ascribe ethno-religious motives to obedience movement will fail. All right, DSS entrenched interest pushing for interim government to undermine civil rule. All right, with one rider, it's fishing expedition. LP scoffs at agency. All right, now those are stories. Let's do the talking from home. All right, quickly, you have the story there on the Punch newspaper, and the story says that the Presidential Campaign Council of the All Progressive Congress and People's Democratic Party have challenged the Department of State Service to get tough with plotters of the interim national government. The council, in separate interview with the Punch on Wednesday in Abuja, said the push for the ING was unconstitutional, adding that the plotters should be arrested. They spoke against the backdrop of a statement issued by the security agency that some people were plotting the ING. The DSS had earlier on Wednesday raised the alarm over a plot by some Nigerians to thwart the May 29 inauguration of the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. The DSS earlier on Wednesday raised the alarm over a plot by some Nigerians to thwart the inauguration. The DSS, in a statement in Abuja by spokesperson Dr. Peter Afunaya, alleged that those behind the plot planned to undermine civil rule, forced an interim government on the country. The Independent National Electoral Commission had on March 1st declared Tinubu the winner of the February 25th presidential election. That story is there. You can grab a copy to read further. All right, moving to other stories there this morning on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. No plan to form government, print Biafra currency. That's according to IPOB. All right, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, have no plans to operate a government in exile and print Biafra currency. IPOB spokesperson Emmanuel Powerful warned those he described as auto-plot to desist from such a move. In a statement, he signed Powerful distance IPOB from the autopilot group, stressing that the group had no fraction. Powerful distanced IPOB from those operating Radio Biafra in the United States. He noted that those operating under the guise of the Directorate of State are not members of IPOB. The statement reads in part, and I quote, "We, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, under the command and the leadership of the great liberator Nnamdi Kanu, once again reiterates that IPOB is not part of the formation of Biafran government in exile anywhere. The people behind the shambolic Radio Biafra government in exile in the USA are not IPOB members, and they should stop linking themselves to us. Those plotting government in exile in the USA are not IPOB members and don't mean well for Biafran freedom and restoration." All right, numbers to call 0704 800 1005 090 60 5719. The numbers to call. Join the conversation this morning. Well, one would wonder if IPOB is saying, look, we're not part of this, and who's really behind the Radio Biafra? One will wonder. All right, I'll take this story quickly while I expect calls. President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday reflected on the popular mandate conferred on him by voters across the 6 geopolitical zones. Tinubu, whose 71st birthday was celebrated with prayers in the church and mosque in Lagos by supporters and admirers, said his democratic mandate was the best birthday gift from Nigerians. I'll take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sumbo.
Oh, no, this is not Sumbo. This is Jade Sola.
Okay, Jade Sola. Okay, Jade Sola.
Good morning, sir. Engineer.
Yeah, good morning. How's it? Yeah, Engineer Joshua.
Yes.
Sumbo, when we remember Nigeria in all ways, no one is happy. Even you are in outside the country. There's nothing to make us happy in Nigeria. What I'm trying to say is the youth have been crying for more than 80 years now that they need the restructuring and internal government. And all the people that are governing us, our president, they don't want to listen. What you keep talking about is we need the restructuring and regional government. so that Nigeria will be okay. It's not all about inaugurate or installing a president. We need a president that will come and give us manifesto. That's what we want for youth. Youth is the owner of the country. It's not any old system. So when they're talking about interim or DSS, this and that, DSS are not. I don't know if they went into foreign Nigeria. So what we need is person. It's not. We're not against a person who want to lose, but a person who want to give us the main thing that we need. Let him tell us if people want to be a president, what you want, what is your manifesto? What is your objection? You want to regionalize Nigeria and give us structure. That's what we need. It's not about this one come today, it will remain the same. Since start something years, Nigeria remain the same. We are going backward from other worlds. And we are youth saying no. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Joshua. All right, I'll take more calls. 0704 800 1005. 0704 800 1005. All right, the numbers to call to join the conversation this morning on pay-per-view. All right, I'll go on this break. When I come back, of course, I'll go straight to my conversation with my dear brothers here from the Federal Road Safety Commission. I beg your pardon, Federal Road Safety Corps, or your state command, sector command, RS 11.3. All right, we'll be back. Stick with us. Don't go away.
100.5
Number one, Family Radio.
Inspiration FM.
Babes, where did you get all this? After shouting Sakpa up and down on your WhatsApp status.
It's the KFC 5-in-1 meal box, show.
You don't mean it.
Look, it comes with a Zinga burger,
a
piece of chicken,
really?
And also regular fries and a drink.
It is having it all indeed.
Oh yes, with KFC 5-in-1 meal box, you can have it all at over 30% discount. It comes with a Zinga burger, 1 piece of chicken, regular fries, and a drink. And you can top it up with any one of popcorn chicken, chicken strips, or Zinga wings. Available when you walk into any KFC stores nationwide. Order online on any of our delivery partners. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Young Shao Group.
Keeping the kids entertained isn't easy. Balancing the challenges of daily life isn't easy as well. That's why your number one family radio station has got you covered. Welcome to School Run with Aunt Sumbo. This is all about general questions to spellings and lots more. Challenging their brains, getting them ready for an amazing day at school. Tune in every morning, 6:45 a.m. to be part of the fun. School Run with Aunt Sumbo on Inspiration 100.5 FM. Let's learn together.
Young Shao Group. Young Shao Group. Oh yeah, we don't come. Oh yeah, we don't come. Young Shao Group.
You can now follow Inspiration FM on social media.
Yeah, on Instagram at IFM 1005 IB.
On Facebook, facebook.com/
IFM 1005 IB. Twitter at IFM 1005 IB.
So
follow,
like,
follow,
and chat. Chat with us, follow us. Follow.
At IFM 1005 IB.
All right, 0704 800 1005. I have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my beautiful sister, Malaji Tunde Olaiwola.
Alaji, good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine, and you too?
I'm good.
You see, in a multi-ethnic, multi-religious society like Nigeria, there are bound to be differences. But we should subdue the differences we have for national interests. Those clamoring for interim government, what do they want to achieve? Definitely, they don't want peace in Nigeria. The DSS has a responsibility as a security organization. Once they have discovered that kind of problem, they nip it in the bud. They shouldn't wait until, it boomerangs. To the extent that Nigerian state will be affected, adversely affected. So all this warning they are giving, what do they mean? It may be some of these elements who have been sponsored are working in concert with some who's going through the military men. They should dig deeper into this issue and ensure they nip it, but get all of them arrested. You don't need to warn. The laws are there. The laws are there. You don't wait until there is problem before you now start talking. They are not sacred cows. No. You see, most Nigerian politicians are bad losers. You don't say because you have lost, then you want to destroy the whole nation. You are not. You yourself will be consumed by whatever plot. So we should not wait until this rears its ugly head. Let them do the needful, do their job, get them arrested, and whatever, prosecute them. That was how they were going about Emefiele. You go to court, sit for this. Do you go to court and sit for warrant of arrest first? So arrest, then you let the person challenge you. So whoever wants to challenge the election should go to court. You don't need to protest. All this artillery they are using.
Okay.
How much do they give them? Please, let not artillery be used against the nation's international interest. And on Nasiwaju, if he wants to come in, you see, I want to appeal to him. If he removes subsidies, that would be his first on this. Because that is one thing that almost everybody, you put things in place. Come in, get the refinery fixed, build new ones, get those who have been given modular refinery licenses, let them go, let them start building. So it's then when you say that this thing has normalized, then you now remove whatever you want to remove. Because these are national oil. God has given us this oil. We should all benefit, not the rich, not the few.
Okay.
God bless you.
Thank you very much, Elijah. All right, of course, I'll go straight to my guest in the studio. I have with me this morning, like I said earlier, Chief Route Commander, of course, Inyema Chijoke Kenneth, of course, from Federal Safety Corps, FRSC, of course, RS 11.3, or your state sector, public education officer for RS 11.3, or your state command, sector command. Of course, you're welcome, Officer Inyema.
Thank you very much.
I hope I'm still allowed to call you Officer Inyema.
Yes, of course.
Because you have more, badge to your rank, so
I'm still an officer.
Yes. All right. I also have with me this morning, of course, another officer from FRC, Superintendent Route Commander Onofuye Oluyemi Ifeolu. He's a Unity Head Driver's License Center Secretariat Agodi, also from RS 11.3, your state sector command. You're welcome once again.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so let me begin. I'm a Nigerian. I want to drive. Whether I own a car or I don't own a car, but I want to drive. What's the first step? Let me begin with that. So who's going to start?
You will start.
Okay, so let's go to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. As a Nigerian that wants to drive on the Nigerian road, you do not need to have a car. You do not need to have a car to get a driver's license. Now, if you want to get a driver's license, the first thing you need to do is to approach the Federal Road Safety Corps Driver License Center nearest to you, where necessary information will be given to you. If you'll be sent to a driving school, you'll spend 26 days sessions driving, learning on how to drive. Then after that, you visit our office again to obtain the MLE form, where your information will be filled and you'll be tested by the VIO personnel. Then you proceed to the bank to make payments. Then you come back to our office to capture for your driver's license. That's a simple process to owning a driver's license.
Okay, so last week we had some very serious issues sorting out. And before the program ended, Officer Yema was telling us that, look, before you can make payments, there's a certain body accredited by FRC who is in charge of driver's license or something. Can you please expatiate, because I don't want to mispresent or represent the conversation. So tell us, what's the process for? Okay, so I want a driver's license now. We've talked about I want to drive.
Yes.
Now we want to talk about applying for a driver's license.
Okay.
How do I apply as a Nigerian?
Okay, as I said earlier, you visit a driving school, a registered and accredited driving school around your area. You get yourself registered. After 26 days, you go for a CBT test. If you pass the test, a certificate to be.
What's CBT?
Computer-based test.
Okay.
You go for a CBT. Then, if you pass, a certificate to be printed to you. Then you approach the road safety license center close to you. When you get there, you tell them you are a first-time learner, a first-time applicant, and you want to obtain your driver's license. You get a form filled. Then you visit the VIO for a test. Then you make your payments online. Now, to make payments online, you can either visit the bank or make use of your card or make use of accredited vendors. We have TC and we have Pay Center and we have Payfix Bank. Those are the three options you can make use of in making your payments. And you can always find them at the later part of the application portal. The first part requires you to fill your basic information. The second part requires you to fill your address. Then the third part requires you to pick the licensing center where you want to get captured. Then it gives you a summary of all the information. You go through it to make sure that your information are intact and correct. Then you proceed to make payment. The page on proceed to make payment will show you the total number of available vendors or platforms by which you can make payments. So the vendors, the platform is divided. The available ones are divided into three. You either make use of your card, you visit a bank, or you pay via a TC platform or a Pay Center platform.
Wow. All right. The program is still pay-per-view on Inspiration 100.5 FM. I think we're getting a clearer picture of what it looks like. We're getting more educated, including myself. You've told us about process of making payments. Now, when payment is made, I also know that when you get your certificate and you approach FRSC or any licensing office, you get your learner's permits.
Yes.
For how long can someone carry learner's permits?
Well, learner's permits are in various levels. We have the first level, second level, third level, and fourth level. The fourth level is the only one you are required to drive without an instructor. Others, you are meant to drive with an instructor. Now, your learner permit lasts for 3 months. Within that period of time, you are expected to start the process of your driver's license. If your learner's permit expires, you are required to apply for another one.
Okay, so until you're sure you're capable of learning,
yes,
or driving, that's when you can
unaided.
Yes,
unaided. Now, I remember when I first started driving. There was a day I was driving and I was stopped, and I showed my learner's permit, and person was like, "Look, why is the person aiding you?"
Yes.
And I looked on my side. There was nobody on the seat. Okay, so that's on a lighter note. Actually, a lot of people do that.
Yes.
But I'm only bringing it to fall for us to be able to. So why do you need somebody to aid you, even when you can drive yourself for a while, for at least 6 months?
Well, you don't only need someone to aid you. You need a licensed person to aid you.
Okay.
So, just like you've earlier been told, a driver's license like a certificate given to you to make use of the road, to drive on the road. So you as a new applicant, you do not have a driver's license, and you are moving an automobile. You need someone that knows the dangers attached to the road, and someone that is learned with traffic rules and regulations to guide you when you are moving the vehicle. There's a difference between learning through a simulator and learning on the road. This is more of a practical platform where you get to move an automobile that can constitute an hazard to anybody around, danger to other women, other road users, and the like. So you need someone that is learning to make use of that road with you when you are driving for the first time or for the few times.
Okay, so basically, when one is of course good to go and one is driving well, without aid, then one can approach.
Any road safety driver license center closest to.
Okay, I'm also aware that some people, Nigerians, which the question will begin to go this way now, get to fill their farms and they're told, come back after capturing, and some of us don't go back. I was once a victim. No, I was once a violator, not a victim, a violator. And I had my papers to show that I've gone to apply, but I didn't go to pick my license. And so when you stop me, I show you. And then you find some of the officers say, look, it has passed the time. Have you gone to check? And I'll say, okay, I'll go and check. And they allow me go. So in such situation, because now we're talking about 1st of April, Operation Show Your License is on the way. And we need to begin to prepare the minds of people towards ensuring that they make their driver's license available for people to be able to show forward when they're being stopped by your men. So how is this going to work?
Yes, we've put machineries in motion, and that's one of the reasons why we came up with the press release, to actually intimate the people of Oyo State about the need for them to go back and pick up their permanent driver's license. We found out that majority of them, after the biometric capture and the temporary driver's license is actually given to them, they will continue with it, not minding to the fact that the permanent driver's license is out, which actually the temporary driver's license, they're supposed to use it for 60 days, and afterward they go back and pick up the permanent driver's license. And we found out that we have over 3,116 unclaimed driver's license, which does not augur well, for the men of the FRSC who work especially in our driver's license centers, because it looks as if after production people don't come back to claim, the work gives them the legal right to actually drive on Nigerian roads. And that is why we set aside, in fact, the whole of April, we're going to clamp down on those people who are, driving on our roads, on Nigerian roads, without permanent driver's licenses. So we don't want to hear stories that, I've captured and went there, I couldn't get it. No, there must be a genuine reason if you are not able to get it. If you have applied, and your temporary driver's license is still within the 60 days period, we can allow you. But if after the 60 days period, you are still driving with your temporary driver's license, we will clamp down on such violators.
Okay, you've heard that that's Officer Yama speaking on the need for us to get a permanent driver's license. Is very important. Do you have an idea of how many licenses are left uncollected in your state?
I have told you, last week, the press release was made, we had over 3,116 unclaimed driver's licenses. And immediately that press release was released, I think so many people went back, to actually, pick up their the permanent driver's license. So I think the number has reduced, but not drastically anyway. And that's why we are also using this medium to appeal to them. It's an appeal that we are making now, because the time will come when we won't make the appeal to them. We are appealing to them. For some of them who have forgotten, or some of them who are not in town, please, once you come into town and you are still, having your temporary driver's license, go to any of the drivers. We have over 10 driver's license centers cut across the state. Go back, go and check, because it does not even waste time again. And that was one of the reasons why I brought one of our
How long does it take? Can you tell us how long it takes, Officer Onofue?
For the original to be out?
Yes.
2 months.
2 months.
Days, yes.
For a fresh registrant.
Yes. After you capture, the temporary copy lasts for 2 months. Then you are meant to visit the center immediately after the expiration. You are meant to visit the center to pick the original copy.
Okay, so if you pick the original copy, okay, so 2 months one must pick. So So, Uncle, what do you think is responsible for people not picking up their driver's license?
Well, we have a lot of issues, actually. Sometimes the applicant totally forgets, just like you said. Sometimes the applicants, some of them, they've traveled out. In this era of traveling out, Japan and the likes, a lot of them have actually traveled out. Sorry to say, some applicants, they are late. Because there are sometimes we put calls over to next of kin for applicants to either come and capture or pick up their driver licenses, and realize that immediately we make the call, people start crying and the like. So probably the person is gone. Sometimes some applicants some applicants misplace their driver's licenses, and they come to apply for a fresh one instead of trying to search for the old license.
And it's not possible to apply for a fresh one without getting your affidavit
they will get the process done. They will capture, they will have the temporary copy. The original one will not be dispatched because on our platform we have 2 licenses. So if such applicants, that's why in our centers, before applicants capture every morning, we educate them on license process. So there have been times where we realize that some will just tell you, oh, I actually misplaced my license. I realized that there was a mistake on the information on my license, so I decided to apply for a new one. Such applicants will not get their new licenses. That's why it's advisable that they visit the center and get necessary information.
All right, it's still pay-per-view. Of course, I'll also be opening the phone lines for people at home who may have one information or the other or questions to ask, this morning. Around 0704-800-1005. Those are the numbers to call. I have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Sumbo.
No, this is not Sumbo. This is Jadi Solam.
Sorry, Jadi.
Yes.
Yes, what I always saw in on the load concern.
This is Engineer Joshua, right?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
They call the other one is road safety, and I saw also VIO, and I saw also police. So what they did is this: VIO was in front, collecting his own money and other things. After that, there are under VIO at the back, doing his own work, collecting their own. You go back again at the same line. They give themselves like 30 feet. Police. So what I want to ask is this: is what is the work of road safety to stand on the load? What is their work? And what is the work of VIO to stand the same on the load? And what is the work of police? I want the officer there to tell me the work of VIO, but the work of road safety, standing on the load, collecting money at many corners. Forget their work, forget their name, destroying their name, the name of road safety of Nigeria. I want the man to explain the work of road safety to us and what they're supposed to be doing.
Okay,
thank you.
They'll do that, right? Officer Yema, people want to know because they actually don't know. So let's assume even we all don't know. So I think there's a need for us to remind ourselves regularly.
The man that asked the question also answered the question.
But let's assume
he said he doesn't know the work of road safety, and he also said that they should do the needful. Why they are road safety? They are there to secure the road. So he knows the work of road safety. I can't go further than that. He knows the work of.
What about those who don't?
But what I don't like about some of the allegations he brought up is that you can't just come to air and allege that the men of Federal Road Safety Corps are collecting money. What have you done about it? Did you, at any point in time, the thing the man should realize is that both the giver and the taker, they are all guilty. If in a process to avoid, the law, and you've given, you are equally guilty, and if the officer have asked you to give, the officer is also guilty. What as an engineer he is, what has he done? Has he ever approached any road safety office to lodge a complaint? And because we have all these internal mechanisms in place to checkmate some of the activities of our men. I won't tell you that our men are saints. They are all Nigerians. But if you approach any of the FRSC offices and lodge a complaint like this, we'll quickly move into actions to nip such things in the board. And the work of the VIOs and the police, we all know. I think I'm not in a position to talk about VIO or talk about police. I'm not a staff of VIO, neither am I an officer of the Federal Nigerian Police. I'm an officer of the Federal Road Safety, and I can only limit, what I'm saying about Federal Road Safety Corps. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's Officer Yema, and I also have with me in the studio Officer Onofwe Luyemi Ifeolu. All right, I'll take more calls as they come, and of course we'll trash some of these issues out. Yes, it's good to talk when there's an opportunity to talk. But on the other hand, let's even know, have you had cases of your officers who are reported for one issue or the other? Do they usually get punished, sanctioned?
Definitely. We have, just like I said, we have internal mechanisms in which we use to punish our officers. Our officers most officers, once they are there's an allegation of corruption, bribery and corruption against them, it's taken seriously. The FRSC does not smile at it. It has led to people's job being terminated. But the problem is, most of these people who engages in this, both the giver and the taker, by the time he comes to either lodge a complaint, and you try to let him know that, do you know the gravity of what you are just saying, the report you are making? Some of them now will go back, I don't want to be the person that will make this person lose this job. And by the time you call them to come and give evidences, they will not be there. They will not come again. So we have a mechanism, internal mechanism. I won't come to air and tell you this is what we do. Just like we have on the room trials. They go through trials. When they are found guilty, they will be terminated. FRSC does not joke with, when you want to, soil the image of the corps. No, we don't joke with that.
All right, of course, it's still pay-per-view on Inspiration 100.5 FM. All right, but before we begin to wrap up on the program this morning, of course, while the phone lines are still opened, 0704 800 1005 or 090 60 60 5719 are the numbers to call. Let me take some of these messages. Agumede Sharif, thank you. I can see you this morning. Hafiz Raja Bidemi saying, good morning, Madam Jadisola, on the issue of statement issued by the DSS. If it is play, they should stop it. We are not in military era again. This is the democratic era. Anyone that is planning interim government should be arrested, and DSS should do the needful. We don't want problem in this country. That's Raji Hafiz Abidemi. Shinaye Adekunle is saying, good morning, Madam Jadisola. Please kindly tell your guest. Okay, of course, we've done that already. Taken. All right, I also have this morning Adenrito Rashidat saying good morning. We appreciate you, Rashidat. Good morning. Tolulokwe Adeyemi saying good morning. The low deposit of cash, now commercial banks are expected because many average Nigerians have lost trust in a banking system due to the suffering and hardship they are experiencing because of this cashless policy, and it will take time before Nigerians will start to trust our banking system. And I hope the people in government will learn from this and ensure that necessary measures are being put in place next time they want to come up with any policy, since we can't continue to do things the same way and expect a different result. Thank you very much, Atululekwe Adeyemi. All right, of course, thank you. We'll keep them coming. All right, I want to I want us to also look at other issues around, your officers on the road. A lot of times, I always frown at it. You see some of your officers, they see an oncoming vehicle, they want to stop. They're not there to stop the person. When the person is close by, possibly the person feels, I'm not being stopped. then they rush in between the road. And for me, as much as it's unacceptable to me, I feel they are also endangering their lives and may likely put the driver in trouble. I always say this when I see them. So I think there's need to also educate and keep educating some of your officers. I'm close to you and then you jump in between the road. So imagine when you jumped, I had already accelerated. What happens? There is a case of injury or loss of life versus the driver who is going on his own or her own. So I think there's also, because that's for me is more important than every other thing. You're an officer, you don't want to lose your life. You want to go back home to your family members and be able to, feed your family. I mean, you lose your leg, you can't be on the road again. So I think they also need to understand this. Meanwhile, you have some very fantastic officers that when you see them, you want to say, oh, I like this guy. This guy is doing well. So I think we need to begin to look at some of these excesses.
Yeah, we are doing that, and we do it every day. Before any of the FRSC patrol team is out, there's what we call pre-patrol brief, in which either the staff officer operation who is detailing them will reel out the safety tips for them, and we've also sounded to their to them that their safety first. You don't just see a vehicle that is close by just because you want to make an arrest. By all means, you just jump into the road, not minding your own safety first. So we do that. And it's a continuous thing. We do it every day, all across the FRSC formation nationwide. We've been doing it, and if you see that these days, most of our officers' SSs also have been curtailed, because we are seriously working on that, and we also put in a mechanism to checkmate some of the SSs on the road.
Okay, so quickly, rainy season. While the rainy season already, I'd like you to advise commuters on how to manage themselves while driving if it's raining. What do you do? Overspeeding, which a lot of time causes accidents. I saw one accident on Lagos Ibadan Expressway one day, some months ago, and I couldn't get over it. I don't know how the driver coming from Lagos got to the other lane of those going to Lagos. They hit each other. Do you know the driver got stuck in that vehicle? They couldn't remove the driver. We had some, a whole family gone, dead. Father, mother, child was dead in another vehicle. And so the driver was stuck and the driver was bleeding. I was there for a while. I don't know if the driver eventually, got out, they were able to get him out of that vehicle. But I tell you, if that driver got out of that vehicle, two things. He may have lost his legs. He would lose a lot of blood. You are not sure he will ever be sane in life. And that's if he's not there. He was there. They had to bring a towing van to see how they can dismantle. The door could not open. You can imagine. Just try and picture what I'm trying to, say. So it's rainy season. Yes, I know it's what you see every day.
This is what we see every day.
Yes.
Just like the rainy season is here with us, it's not about we are preparing for it. It's already here. The rain has started. These are things we called, driving under special conditions. It's expected that when you are driving under such special conditions, one of the first things that must come to your mind is that you apply what we call common sense speed limit. Most people, just like we said, common sense speed limit, and people are laughing over it. The sense is common. It's called common sense, but is the sense common? Most people don't apply that common sense. If on the road you are asked on the expressway that you are not supposed to go beyond 100 kilometers per hour and it's raining, it's expected that you drive according to the condition of that road as at that point in time that is raining. Because one, the road will be wet, traction between the tire and the road will be slippery. Because once water gets in between the tires, those marks on the tire, that's what we call tread. Once the water goes in between them, you find it difficult to actually, come to a halt as at the time you want it. You know, on a normal surface, dry surface, if you are on 50 kilometers per hour and you want to come to a halt, you have applied your brake, it takes you 30 meters to actually come to a halt on a dry surface. Then imagine when you're on a wet surface. You know that the braking distance increases. So the first thing one need to do is to apply what we call common sense speed limits, and then make sure that your lights are on. What the light indicates is that you can see and you can also be seen. Do you understand me? Make sure your headlamps are on, the fog lights are on, the back lights are all working. These are, you are communicating with other road users. And then make sure you have a functional wiper.
Functional wiper.
Wiper.
Not
Yes.
just a wiper.
Not just a wiper. Yes. Some people will have wiper, but when it starts raining, you see that they will not use it. It's not a functional wiper. You must have a functional wiper. And then make sure that your windscreen is always clean. And if you have an air condition, it aids. You understand me? It will aid you to clear the windshield. You understand me? So that you drive, clearly and see the road. But once the rain is heavy, we will also advise that you can park. Just park on a safe place. Once the rain, subsides, you can move. It's not necessarily that I must get there with the rain. At a point in time, the visibility becomes poor. Because whenever it's raining, visibility becomes poor. So these are some of the, safety tips the motorists need to apply, more especially this period, whenever it's raining.
That's a big one. I think I've also learned one or two things from it. What I used to know is I see people put on their hazard light when it's raining.
No, the hazard light is also, usually used when there is a fault in the vehicle, or at night when you stopped for somebody to alight from your vehicle. You just put that hazard light to actually know that this is a packed vehicle and somebody is coming out from it. But most people don't know about all those things.
That's what I'm saying.
When they get to a T junction and they want to cross over to the other side, we put a hazard light.
That's confusing.
It's confusing because whoever is coming from the other side will see that the only trafficator he will see is the one pointing towards his side. And the other person, yes, so it gets confusing. So you are not expected when you're on a T junction and you want to cross over to the other side, you are not expected to put on your hazard light.
It shows a lot of people didn't visit the driving school.
And a lot of people need to also, read their highway codes. Some of them have the highway codes, but in their houses, it's just lying fallow. And that is the reason why the FRAC is not only stopping at that. There's a curriculum now in schools where you talk about, a civic education. We have to bring in road safety into it. So to actually, get these ones, the younger ones, learned, so that they also can also teach their parents. Imagine when a parent is using phone while driving and a little boy is telling you, Daddy, this thing you are doing.
You don't know why I'm laughing.
You understand me? The consciousness to drop that phone will be there because the boy is telling you that, Mommy or Daddy, you are with your family and you are risking our lives. Yes, that's it.
I was going on this road to actually drop my son in school one day. And I think he noticed that when you get to Idiakwe, the direction to go straight to the civic center there is always on, is not always on green. Sometimes on green. So there was a day he had to caution me, Mommy, why are you going? It's not on green.
Of course.
And I had to explain to him that, see, vehicles going in this direction. And I think the one he saw was the one at the center, directing people this way. So he was saying, Mommy, this is on red. 5 years at that time. And I was able to explain to him that, no, it's for those people turning. I'm going this way, so I can naturally go and merge, join the road. So I think it's good. I also take a cue from that as well. Yeah, I think it's good to have you guys on the program. And we're going to be having you more these days. As much as...
we also want to thank you because you are making the job easier for us. By the time we use this medium to talk to a larger audience, they will also improve on their driving habits.
But one important thing people must know out there is from 1st of April, Operation Show Your Driver's License.
Yes, we are going to do it all over the state.
And we're also going to find a way to encourage and support that from our end here. You'll get to know about that after the program. So we're going to be talking about this as much as possible from time to time. Operation Show Your Driver's License. Please show your driver's license. It's for your safety. You have a license, it shows that you're authorized to drive on our roads. You don't have one, please don't drive. And of course, it's as much as we can take this morning on pay-per-view. I want to appreciate sincerely, of course, the Chief Route Commander, Officer Nyama Chijoke Kenneth. Of course, is the FRSC, or your Sector Public Education Officer, RS 11.3, or your State Sector Command. Thank you very much, Officer Nyama, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, Superintendent Route Commander on North Fuye, Oluyemi Ifeolu, Unit Head, Driver's License Center, Secretariat Agodi. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having us, man.
Before you go, you have to give us phone number that people can call. Perhaps they have one question to have. They want to report cases of your officers misbehaving. What number can they call?
Yeah, let me.
All right, of course, it's pay-per-view on Inspiration 100.5 FM. Like I said, we'll be doing this from time to time.
We also have a short code.
Please go ahead.
As 122.
122.
Toll-free
line.
Yeah,
okay.
toll-free line. Whether you have a credit or not, airtime or not, once you call, tell them where you're calling from, and they will, tell the nearest command there what the complaints are.
Okay. All right, that's good. Thank you very much for coming. I am Jade Sola Ajibola saying a big thank you to everyone and saying have a pleasant day. Remember, stay safe.